Okay, so we are on the inequality. So for example, this first one, x greater than 3. So all of these, we're going to just do 3. So x greater than 3, sorry. Okay, x greater than 3. So are we going to put an open circle or a closed circle?
Open.
Open. And then we are going to point which direction?
To the right.
To the right, because we are looking at numbers that's bigger, right? And then the next one, x greater than or equal to 3. This one, closed circle, and then we're also going to point towards the right. So you can try it like this, or if your teacher showed you to shade, you can do both. It doesn't really matter. You're just telling people it's on the right hand side. All right, this one, less than 3.
Opposite.
Opposite way, and then we have an open circle. Okay, and then the last one, less than equal to, so closed circle, and then point to the left. All right, now let's talk about some words that represent these inequalities. So for example, this first one, greater than 3. Raise your hand if you have an idea. When do we say greater than 3? Okay, so definitely if you see greater than 3, we're going to point that way. What other words? So raise your hand if you have an idea. That means the same thing. When you see this word, you're going to do that. Yep. More than, yes. More than. X is more than 3. Maybe larger than or bigger than. And another word that you might not kind of associate that it's the same thing is above. X is above 3, so she is above 5 feet. So that means she's more than 5 feet. Okay, what about greater than or equal to? Greater than or, huh?
At least.
Okay, yeah, at least is a common word that means greater than or equal to. For example, the concert ticket is at least $20. So it's $20 or more. What else? Okay, maybe not less than. The cost is not less than $20. So it's $20 or more. Anything else you guys can think of?
How about just greater than or equal to?
Greater than or equal to, yes, but that one we already know. That's how we read it. How about minimum? That is minimum of 3 people. So to reserve this this restaurant, you guys have to have a minimum of 3 people. So 3 people or more. Okay, now let's think the opposite. We're going less than now. What are some words that means less than besides less than? Kind of think the opposite of what we had for greater than.
No more than.
No more than? Yes, no more than or, oh yeah, sorry. No more than or not more than. What else? Raise your hand if you have one. Think the opposite of the words that we have for greater than. Sorry. Yeah.
Smaller than.
Smaller than. What about a word that means the opposite of? Oh, yeah.
Below.
Yes, below. All right, let's move to less than or equal to. Raise your hand. Okay, Grace. Okay, good. Maximum. We can seat maximum of 4 people. So 4 people or less. What else? Raise your hand if you have one. Grace?
At most.
Okay, at most. So think the opposite. Okay, yep.
Not more than.
Not more than. Okay, so those are good words. Let's go ahead and have you try writing an inequality. So 5 fewer than a number is at least 12. Okay, I did not realize that. Sorry about that. I think I confused a lot of you. Okay, I put no more than in 2 places. That is not correct. So no more than is not less than. It is less than or equal to. So sorry about that. I did not realize that. So please change that in your notes. No more than is less than or equal to, not less than. Okay, so let's look at the answer. So the first one is x minus 5 greater than or equal to 12. Number 2 is x divided by 3 less than or equal to 15. And then the practice, first one is x minus 4 greater than negative 28. And then 2x greater than equal to 15. Okay, let's solve some before word problems. Let's solve some regular problems. Okay, let's look at this first question. What should we do here?
They want you to graph.
Yes, and they want you to graph. So how do we solve this equation so we can graph? Yep, distribute. So we're going to distribute. That's going to be negative 6x plus 15 plus 1 greater than equal to 4. What's next? Like terms? Yeah, add the like terms. So negative 6x plus 16 greater than equal to 4. What's next? Okay, minus 16. So negative 6x is greater than equal to minus 12. What's next? Okay, here's the problem. Divide by negative 6, what should we do? Flip the sign. When do you flip the sign? So dividing by a negative number or multiplying by a negative number. Okay, so when you add and subtract, doesn't matter. When you start multiplying or dividing by a negative number, then you switch the sign. Okay, so this is x is less than or equal to 2. That means we put a solid circle on 2 and then point to the left. All right, let's have you guys try this next one. Okay, so the answer to this one is x is less than or equal to negative 8. All right, we'll have some time to practice later. Let's go on to word problems. Okay, let's read this question together. A movie rental company offers 2 subscription plans. You can pay $36 a month and rent as many movies as desired, or you can pay $15 a month and $1.50 to rent each movie. How many movies must you rent in a month for the first plan to cost less than the second plan? Okay, when you read word problems, there's a lot of information. So what you want to do is try not to get too overwhelmed with the information. What you want to do is first go straight to the question. So where is the question? It starts with how many movies, right? When you go to the question, you immediately know which part should be the variable because that's what they want you to solve. So what is the variable or what thing do they want you to solve for? Movies. So movies is my x, right? This is what I want to know. So that's the unknown. Okay, how many movies must you rent? So what happens? Huh? Let's just try to translate exactly the question instead of try to take the other context. So how many movies must you rent? So what happens? What does it say in this question? So that the first plan costs less than the second plan. Okay, how do you write cost less? What's that in mathematical symbol? Less than. Right? So we want 1 to cost less than 2. Well, what is the first plan? $36, as many movies as what you want, right? What's the second plan? Say $15 and then $150 for each movie. How do you write and then $150 for each movie? Yeah?
Plus 1.5x.
Yes. So basically, essentially, you can see that you decipher the entire question. It's 36 less than 15 plus 1.5x. That's exactly what they want you to solve. So now it becomes really easy. So go ahead and solve it. What is, how many movies do you have to rent so that the first plan costs less than the second plan? So the first one, you should get x greater than 14. So you can say 15 or more than 14. You just cannot say 14 because at 14, they're the same cost. Okay, everyone, please move on to number 2. Okay, the answer for the second one is x greater than 32. All right, so just skip the first 2 because it's the same as before. So let's just have you guys do 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're going to kind of do together unless you can try to figure it out. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, number 3, x plus 7 less than 5. Number 4, x over 8 less than equal to negative 6. Number 5 is x less than 2, so that's an open circle on 2 pointing to the left. Number 6 is t greater than equal to 4, so that's a closed circle and pointing to the right. Now, if you look at this word problem and you're kind of like, I don't know how to solve this, this is not like the ones from before, that's okay. We can still solve it. Okay, let's look at the question. A school principal estimates that no more than 6% of this year's seniors class will graduate with honors. If 350 students graduate this year, how many will graduate with honors? All right, so let's think about it. So what are you looking for? Huh? How many people, what kind of people though? Honors seniors, right? So that's going to be the people there. He estimates that no more than, what does no more than translate to? Less than equal to, good. No more than 6% of this year's senior. 6% of this year's senior. So 6% of, so yesterday we said of means, Of means what? Multiply. Okay, 6% of this year's senior is 350, so then you just solve that. But we cannot multiply a percentage, so what should we do? Yeah, change that to a decimal. So what is 6% in decimals?
0.06.
Yeah, correct. So you just do that, and then the answer is x is less than or equal to 21. Good? All right, next part. Let's look at this question. 3x greater than 12. What is x? What's x when you solve? Greater than 4, right? So is this sometimes true, always true, or never true? Sometimes true, but why? It's only true when x is greater than 4. It's not true when x is 0, right? It's not true when x is negative 1. Only when x is greater than 4. So this is one solution kind of question, and you only have sometimes true. Next, 2x plus 3 less than 2x plus 6. Now this one's a little bit harder to see because there are x and numbers in there. So what you want to do is subtract 2x from both sides. That will eliminate the x altogether. You end up with 3 less than 6. Is 3 less than 6? Yes, so that is always true. That means I can put in any number for x and it doesn't matter. It will always work because x eventually all cancels out. So this is infinitely many solution. Infinitely many. So there's infinite amount of solutions. Okay, so if you don't know how to do it, just solve for x, and then eventually you can see whether it's true or not. Okay, next one, x plus 1 greater than x plus 7. So what you want to do is subtract x on both sides. That gets rid of x. 1 greater than 7. Is 1 greater than 7? No. So this is never true, which means no solution. Okay. Let's have you guys try 1 and 2 only. So 1 and 2, go ahead and figure out if it's always, sometimes, or never. All right. Number 1 is never. Number 2 is always, but Richard has a good point. This one has a equal to sign. So Yeah, so let me think about it and get back to you guys. Because his point was that it's not always true because it's not always equal to.
That's why originally.
I see. Yeah, so let me think about it and get back to you guys. Okay, next, compound inequality. Compound means that we're going to add two inequalities together. So far, we only look at one inequality at a time. So we're going to add two inequalities together by the words and or the word or. Okay, for example, this first one. You can see that this question has two inequalities. And they're connected by the word and. So what we're going to do is we're going to solve each one individually, and then we're going to combine them together into one inequality. So for example, this first one, 7 greater than 2x plus 1. Easy to solve, so we subtract 1 on both sides. 6 greater than 2x, and then we divide by 2. So 3 greater than x. And I don't like to write it that way because it's very confusing, so I rewrite it backwards, x first. Okay, next one, negative 3x less than or equal to 18. So we want to divide it by negative 3. And then we get x is what? Yeah, greater than or equal to negative 6. So at this time, what you want to do is graph. Okay, so x is less than 3. So open circle on 3, point to the left. And then x is greater than or equal to negative 6. So close circle on negative 6, point to the right. You can see that they're going to overlap. We're looking for the overlap. So when they do overlap, you want to rewrite this as one big inequality. So how do I rewrite this as one inequality instead of two? You start with the leftmost point, which is what? Yeah, negative 6. So we start with negative 6, less than or equal to x, and then less than 3. So you have to combine it into one. Good? Okay, let's try this one on your own. Number 2. 2 less than or equal to x less than 6. Now, let's look at this question. When the question is written for you in terms of compound inequality already, I want you to learn to solve this all together in one. I don't know if your teacher has taught you this before. Essentially, what you're doing is you're looking at one equation and another equation, basically two equations combined. What you can do is you can split them into two inequalities. So the left two are one inequality, and then the middle and the right is one inequality. So you can do it that way. But I don't prefer you doing that way because you guys are in honors and then we want to solve this fast. So let's look at the same question, but all together. So whenever you have a sign like this, you have an inequality or an equal sign, basically you split the whole equation into two sides. You have now two inequality signs, so that means you split it into three sides. So whatever you do to one thing, you have to do it to all of them. So what should we do to solve for x? Add 3. Now when you add 3, make sure you add it to all three sides because you got to be fair. So 2 less than 1/2 x less than 4. Okay, what's the next thing you need to do? Times 2. Yeah. So 2 less than x less than 8. No, did I do it wrong? Oh, 4. Okay, so this is 4 to 8, like that. Okay, really quickly, we're going to finish OR and then let you do some practice. OR inequality means that there is no overlap. They're going to point in opposite direction now. So what is the solution of this? Let's solve it. -7 minus 7. K is greater than or equal to -1. This one, -8 minus 8. k is less than -5. Okay, when you solve this, let's look at it. So k is greater than or equal to -1, point to the right, open circle, close circle, and then k is less than -5, so open circle on -5, point to the left. Now let me ask you a question. Can you write this answer like this? Think about it, think about it. How many people say, yes, I can write it like that, just like that? It's a, nice way to combine them together. How many people say, no, you cannot do it? Why not? Yeah. Huh?
Because like that would mean that it's in between -5 and -1, and its numbers outside of that.
Yes. Well, I mean, it does mean, okay, there could be numbers between -1 and -5, right? But what does this inequality actually mean? Yeah.
-5 is less than -1, so if it can't be.
Yeah, Augustine?
-1 is smaller than -5.
Yeah, so basically, essentially it's saying -1 is smaller than -5. Or it's basically saying there's a number that exists that is bigger than -1, but also smaller than -5 at the same time, which is impossible. So you cannot do that. Okay, so please don't do that. I see it on the test a lot. That's why I'm giving you a warning. People always do that. Okay, let's have you guys try number 2. Okay, so number 2, the answer is w greater than 8/7 or w less than -3. And then we'll finish the word problem tomorrow.